matters through our partner station MITV on day. We call it the People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Nigerian citizens languishing in Libya prison make heartbreaking plea for assistance. Psychosocialist raises alarm over increasing prevalence of dementia in Nigeria. Tito Jackson, an original member of the Jackson 5 pop group and brother of late Michael Jackson, dies at 70. I am Florence Joshua with these and more. The leader of INRI Evangelical Spiritual Church, Primate Elijah Ayodele, has revealed yet another prophecy saying there's going to be rift between the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President Kashim Shettima.
Tinubu and Shettima will fight, and that fight will cause political problems for Tinubu. Then ABUJA Tinubu will fight because Ganduje is going, and these are things that will cause problems of APC. Apart from PDP, they will use Wike to destroy PDP, and Wike will get grant. And I can see that some governors may leave PDP and form new PDP. So get watching, and you will see what is going to happen. This one, you will see as from 2025 what will happen, because a lot of people that Tinubu depend on the north, they want to start Tinubu because Tinubu is ready for second term. Second term Tinubu will start 2025, and every political activity will start 2025.
The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has described as insensitive the federal government threat to deduct 7 days' pay from doctors' salaries going on strike to demand the rescue of their colleague kidnapped in December 2023. The Vice President II of NARD and Chairman of the NARD Medical Education Committee, Dr. Kefa-AKWANGA-LAFIA, added that doctors were unmoved by the pay deduction threat. The resident doctors had recently embarked on a 7-day warning strike to demand the rescue of their colleague, Dr. Ganiat Popola, who was kidnapped almost 9 months ago at the National Eye Center, Kaduna. In response to the strike, the federal government expressed disappointment at the doctors' decision, stating that they would lose 7 days' pay. However, in an interview with WIDA, a NARD leader said, "As you all know what we stand for, we don't blink when it comes to what we pursue, and we are not negotiating it. If removed from our salary will make us have our colleague back, which was the reason why we went on strike, we see this as the least sacrifice we can make to ensure that our colleague is back. Because for us, what is the whole salary to the life of our colleague? We do not see that as important." Following the arrest and detention of the President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, and invasion of Serap's office by the Department of State Security Service, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Prince Adewale Adebayo, has urged the DSS and security agencies to focus their energy on Boko Haram, kidnappers, bandits and criminal elements inside government. Clearview News Imofo Nokon has the details.
From hike in price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, to intimidation, harassment and silencing of innocent citizens for speaking out, the arrest and detention of the president of the NLC, George Jero, the brief detention of the convener of Revolution Now protest, Showere, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on Sunday, the disregard of citizens' fundamental human rights seem to have become a norm. Speaking on the growing culture of impunity and disdain of the present administration, the presidential candidate of Social Democratic Party SDP, Prince Adewale, said he would have stopped the DSS and police from interacting with government or following politicians if he was elected president.
So we should separate those who follow politicians all around from those who actually have to enforce the law, because that way there is no suspicion. Because there are two extremes. One extreme is to say, if you are in politics like me, then police should not touch you. So even if you commit an offense, police should just say, because it's a politician, let's leave him. No, it can't happen that way. On the other hand, you don't want police to become a tool of politics or a tool of harassing people, which is essentially what they have become over time. And the same thing with the DSS. It shouldn't be the case. And we can't go back to the days of Abacha, where government will say, well, if you are irritating us, then we look for you and harass you. We can't do that in a democracy.
Prince Adewale therefore called on the DSS boss to be more proactive in fighting criminal elements in government in the country rather than witch-hunting innocent citizens.
No, I think the new sheriff is welcome, but I think he should focus on Boko Haram, bandits, kidnappers, and such other things, and probably also the criminals who are inside government, to try to, do his work there. So all of us have a duty to let the civil society breathe, but with some guidance from law enforcement, because I cannot tell you that I don't know that there are hostile interests in Nigeria,
yes,
who come from abroad, and they use our institutions against us. Of course, they use our government officials against us as well. So when you are looking at whether NGOs, civil groups are being sponsored from abroad, you also look at our oil companies are from abroad, and they are controlling our economy.
With the arbitrary arrest of George Jero, intimidation, harassment and silencing of the voices of the saints, experts say this trend shows an escalating crackdown on human rights and restrictions on civic liberty by the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
A heartbreaking plea for assistance has emerged from Libya, where Nigerian citizens, including women and children, are languishing in prison. The disturbing video obtained by our news team on social media reveals the horrific conditions faced by these individuals. The report.
Freedom! 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 Freedom!
Libya has emerged as a critical pathway for African migrants seeking to reach Europe. The country's proximity to Europe, coupled with its porous borders and political instability, has made it an attractive transit point for those fleeing poverty, conflict, or persecution. Many Africans travel to Libya with the hope of crossing the Mediterranean Sea into Europe. However, upon arrival, they often find themselves at the mercy of human traffickers who exploit them for financial gain. The conditions in Libya detention centers are often inhumane, with reports of overcrowding, poor sanitation, and inadequate access to food and medical care. The journey from Libya to Europe is perilous, with migrants facing the risks of violence, abuse, and death at sea. Despite these dangers, many continue to attempt the crossing, driven by the desire for a better life in Europe. The Libyan route has become a desperate attempt for many Africans to escape their homegrown circumstances and seeking a brighter future.
I have crossed my mind. I want to see. I want to go to the Europe. What is powerful me, they say we will enter flight. But this one, the journey is going no flight. Even when in the desert, it was so bad. In the desert, that Sahara desert. God, that one is like we spend 1 month in that just for the desert. They say that place, you lose your hair, only your hair. If you have attachment, you have to lose it. No earring, no bangle, no all this makeup. You cannot even take it to the place because they say it's dry land. That is that sea. That's how they gist that God want to use, and the one, I don't know, that the sea wanted to take the whole places before God now dry the sea. So it's big river, and when you step inside, you will feel something different. That yes, this is a river that dry, because all these stones that they are selling for us in the market, we're using to wash our clothes, the stones full down there and dry wound, and they say no rain is falling in that place. To confirm that there's no a drop of rain in that very desert, all the stones are black like charcoal, but it's not charcoal, but that is how the color is. So it was so terrible, and that is where we see all these soldiers that covered themselves in that place. And there was so terrible because they will be coming to pick the people that have bad mind on me. I was just going and say, I want to see.
The detainees allege they have been imprisoned for over 1 year and 5 months with no support from the Nigerian government. They claim to have paid 1,500 naira each, only to be abandoned. The prisoners emotionally cry for help is a stark reminder of the human cost of migration and trafficking. Will anyone heed their plea? Honorable ABUJA-KEFFI Erewa, chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCAM, has expressed concern and urged caution. She also warned against deadly migration pathways and urged Nigerians to avoid traffickers.
A few years ago, under President Muhammadu Buhari, I personally wrote seeking a massive evacuation of Nigerians stranded in Libya because of videos such as we just saw. Now, Mr. President then approved, and a high-powered delegation was constituted and sent to Libya to go into the detention centers. We had the Minister of Foreign Affairs then chairing it, Office of the National Security Advisor, the Comptroller General of Immigration, NAPTIP, Refugee Commission, and myself. NIA was also there, and myself. And we went into detention centers in Libya. I saw one of the most horrific sights of my life. I remember that girl who held on to my leg and said, in pidgin, because she didn't want them to hear her speak English, they will understand. And she said, you know what, they've raped me. Many of them slept with me. I'm pregnant. When they knew you were coming, they chipped something inside me, and I'm bleeding now. It was a very horrific sight. And we brought them back, all of them. Well, almost 10,000. Max Air lifted them back from Libya. Now,
the plight of these Nigerians trapped in Libya prison serves as a reminder of our collective responsibility to protect human life. We will continue to follow this story, seeking updates and solutions. While Clearview News Desk will not in any way support these Nigerians for embracing illegal routes to travel, at the same time, we implore the Nigerian government to be more proactive in coming to the aid of these unfortunate Nigerians. They remain our dear brothers and sisters. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk. A psycho-socialist, Dotun Ajiboye, has raised an alarm over the increasing prevalence of dementia in Nigeria, stressing the need for early intervention to address the growing public health crisis. Ajiboye said early detention would enable persons with dementia to access treatment. According to him, dementia is defined as a syndrome, not a specific disease, explaining that it is characterized by a decline in cognitive function, severe enough to interfere with daily life, adding that dementia was also a general term for the impaired ability to remember, think, or make decisions that interfere with everyday activities. Ajiboye said memory loss, communication difficulties, and disorientation are just some of the symptoms people living with dementia experience, and it can be caused by a variety of diseases, including Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. According to him, public education is to mitigate the impact of dementia in Nigeria. It's very important. He called on healthcare professionals and policymakers to prioritize mental health initiatives that can improve the quality of life for those affected. Ajiboye called for a biosocial approach to the management of dementia. He urged the government to invest in biological, physiological and social interventions that can help manage and slow down the progression of the condition. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in River State.
The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. U.S. media named Ryan Wesley Ruth as the suspected would-be assassin of Donald Trump. U.S. media said it was Ruth, 58, who was arrested after U.S. Secret Service agents opened fire on a gunman carrying AK-47 style rifle near the boundary of Trump's Florida golf course, where the former president was golfing on Sunday. The suspect had bolted out of the shrubbery he had been hiding in and escaped in a black car before he was tracked down by authorities. Ruth, who had an arrest record spanning decades and regularly posted on politics and current events, including sometimes criticizing Trump, the Republican presidential candidate. Tito Jackson, an original member of the Jackson 5 pop group and brother of the late Michael Jackson, has reportedly passed away at the age of 70. The news was confirmed in an Instagram post by Jackson's 3 sons, Taj, Terrell and TJ Jackson, who were themselves an R&B pop trio, 3T, in the 1990s. Tito was recently in Munich ahead of a performance that the group were due to give. An official cause of death is yet to be determined. Tito performed in the famous ensemble with brothers Jackie, Jermaine, Marlon and Michael Jackson, who died in 2009. Recently, a Chinese company made headlines over the introduction of unique policy called the Unhappy Leave. This initiative encourages employees to prioritize their mental well-being by taking time off if they are feeling unhappy or stressed. This development has been welcomed by a lot of individuals with many companies in China considering implementing a similar policy. In this special report, Clearview News Gloria Atta attempts to find out the feasibility of such policy if applied in the Nigerian workplace.
Stress refers to the way the human body responds to pressure, which can hit anyone at any age, gender, or level of business, be it in a public or private space. Recent research shows that stress, including work-related stress, can be attributed to an individual's inability to cope with the demands placed on him or her, thereby leading to a tendency to abscond from work and blaming one's absence on sickness. This could also lead to staff turnover and other issues such as unnecessary delays and avoidable errors in the handling of official responsibility. In a bid to improve work-life balance, a Chinese company has introduced a policy called the Unhappy Leave, which allows employees to take time off for as much as 10 days if they are feeling unhappy or stressed, encouraging them to prioritize their mental well-being and creating a healthier work environment. Over the years, countries across the world have begun to prioritize the need for employees to maintain a healthy work-life balance in order to enjoy and contribute meaningfully to nation building. In 2021, Portugal introduced a law that bans employers from contacting workers outside of their regular hours, either by phone, message, or email. A similar rule gave French workers the right to ignore after-hours business emails in 2017. Other European nations, including Germany, Italy, and Slovakia, have likewise revised their rules, allowing workers to have the legal right to enjoy their time on and off work. Clearview News Desk brings this discussion back home to Nigeria, which is currently grappling with a number of socio-economic challenges, to sample how applicable and effective such a policy would be in the average Nigerian workplace.
I don't think that law will be applicable here. And the reason is this: we know both the rulers and the rule, we are all known for violation of rules and regulation, because everybody does what profits him or her, not what profits the entire public. If such a law should be in existence here, it reduces stress. It helps to to elongate the lifespan of everyone. If it's something that will work out, I will tell you it has positive impacts.
If such law come, believe me, everybody know, yes, you'll be working at ease. And once anybody work at ease, but you bring out the best result.
To me, it's a foreign idea. Nigeria is built in a unique way. The environment, the activities going on there is quite different from the activities going on in Nigeria.
It's not necessarily a factor for job performance or performances. Okay, what workers need, it's good pay.
Clearview also interacted with Angela Brown, a nurse, life coach and motivational speaker who spoke on early warning signs of stress and depression and how individuals and society can come together to address the issue.
If you're feeling really bad, don't ignore it. Because depression is not something to play with. We all go through things. Some of us can actually rebound faster than others. And sometimes we don't even know we're depressed. So if you are feeling some type of way and you can't seem to get out of what you're feeling, seek the services of a doctor or a therapist. Forget about the stigma associated with mental health. The time is now to reach out, talk about it, have the conversation, and take care of you.
The introduction of an unhappy leave policy in Nigeria could represent a significant step forward in promoting mental health awareness and employee well-being. By allowing employees to take time off when they are feeling unhappy, organizations can create a more supportive work environment that values mental health as much as physical health. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.
And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. A heartbreaking plea for assistance has emerged from Libya, where Nigerian citizens, including women and children, are languishing in prison. A psycho-socialist, Dotun Ajiboye, has raised an alarm over the increasing prevalence of dementia in Nigeria, stressing the need for early intervention to address the growing public health crisis. Tito Jackson, an original member of the Jackson 5 pop group and brother of the late Michael Jackson, has reportedly passed away at the age of 70. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now.
invite you to watch how we